bringing you all the commentating. Is there beef? Is there beef? This racing is so exciting. They're rock the Nashville network. That Beagle's cracking them up in the background. It is racing at Atlanta. It is racing at Talladega. Never turn right. Woo! Go, baby, go. Don't you curse tonight. As a Brady, the boss man is lessening. Oh dear, let's go racing. Coding up with all the graphics. Jeff Merck pulling all the facial reactions. Jordan is spoken like deep.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little bit late, but we are here, live, recorded, however you want to look at it, here for the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, the Surf Pro 200, Watkins, Glen International, the road course, little kink up there in the top right, always high speeds, always chaos, always big ones for some reason or another through the S's. We always see a big one. Will we see one tonight? And who's going to walk away with the win here tonight at Watkins Glen? Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Morgan Cook beside me, my co-commentator, color analyst, wild man himself, and obviously the Australian Dean Hopton Biggles in the house as well, producing and getting you ready for tonight. Morgan, this is a little bit different. Obviously, there you see the rest of the schedule. We got Watkins Glen tonight. Texas is this coming Friday, which will be a pretty cool little deal. Obviously, love Texas, but Watkins Glen's kind of a little crazy, little weird one, I guess you could say. Fast, I talked about it a while ago. Your thoughts here for Watkins Glen. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, this place is the super speedway of road courses, if you will. Very fast, as you've said. It's a pretty straightforward track to get around. Very difficult to master, though. A lot of right-handed corners, left and right, and then some S's and a carousel and a chicane, and there, you're at the start-finish line again. It's again, simple to drive, but very difficult to master.
And the way you just talked about it seems to me like you're not a big fan of this place either. So there we see our DSR Electric Truck Series points, which was last night, which was at Pocono. Folks, if you have not seen the broadcast from last night, seen the Pocono race from last night. It was a one-lap dash, last minute. Not going to tell you who won it. You have to go check that one out for yourselves. There you see the points. Obviously, Tiny Horse, Ryan Johnson, MDW, Dustin Scruggs, Dylan Cardenas, Jordan Durasic, Keith Haney. They have wins here on the Friday Night Truck Series. All the way down to right there where that cut line is. Chris Blanchard, James Beard, Brady LaBeouf, all of them right there on that cut line. Grant Peterson, literally 2 points back. Matt Lee. Very ironic, though, that we see Nate Maurer, Brad Chew, and Jeff Merck on the outside looking in. No win yet. Morgan, this is something, I know you're kind of new to the Nazareth scene and everything, but this is something we do not see Jeff Merck yet, or be in this situation. We're not used to seeing Jeff Merck below the cut line trying to make it into the playoffs.
He was my pick at Bristol there a couple weeks ago, and I've seen him be fast in every race that I've seen on Nazareth. Yeah, 23rd in points is out of the ordinary from what I'm understanding.
Yeah, and I mean, literally, he's going to have to get a good finish, get a win, try to get himself in. And folks, if you're watching this right now, this is not live. Remember, this is recorded from this past Friday night. There you see your weather conditions, 93 degrees on the track, temp 19 miles per hour in the wind. That might play a little bit of a factor in whether or not they can keep it on the track because the wind might blow them straight off the damn track. But here we go. Get the grid lined up for you for the Surf Pro 200 here tonight. Matthew David Wood, MDW, starts on the pole. Dylan Cardenas, couple of winners already this season. Make up 1 and 2. Jonathan Cofield in the 58. Really good here at road courses. Mind you, Chicago Street Course, DSR Electric. He really lit it up there in the DSR Electric Truck Series and won that race. So here we go. Cofield starting third. Tiny Horse, Ryan Johnson starting in the fourth spot. Mike Kostick will start in fifth. Tristan Bruce will start sixth. The Animal Keith Bradley will start seventh, with Jordan Durasic will start eighth. Dustin Scruggs will start ninth. Jeff Merck outside trying to get in. He will start in P10. Matt Lee starts in P11, and John Freeman rounds out the top 12.
13th to be Nick Seiko, 14th to be Adam Newton. In the 15th spot will be Matt Cherry, then Luke Smith to his outside. Adam Newton, 17th. Matthew Montgomery in 18th. Robert Richards, 19th. And our best buddy, James Beard, will start in 20th. 21st will be Casey Menke. Cody Knott, our race control, 22nd. Buzzy Mongold in 23rd, and in 24th, Matthew Cummins.
Sorry, Morgan, I about choked on my water right there. Eric Zimmerman will start 25th, with Thomas Kohik will start in the 26th spot. Lucas Lyons will start in the 27th spot, with Isaac Bevan is outside 28th. Kevin Edwards is going to start 29th, and Kyle Hess is going to start 30th. Brandon New will be 31st. Dade Hagan will be 32nd. Huck Wigginton, 00 for Blue Line Racing, will start 33rd here this evening, with Raul Meza, Surf Pro, ironically enough, in the number 37. He will start P34. TJ Moore, your race director, Brandon Broadfoot, not real sure if he started the race. He may have started the race, so we'll give it 35 drivers that's going to start here tonight at Watkins Glen. You see Tristan Bruce right there in the 3, the pace truck working its way down the back chute. There you see your stages right there. Stage 1 will stay green all the way to lap 12. Payouts to stage points, playoff points, all that good stuff. Stage 2, 27. We'll have a caution at that. Then we'll go all the way to 65. 3 sets of tires, 65% fuel capacity, unlimited tips at green, white, checkers. And, you know, Morgan, we don't really see cautions here unless it's a stage. You know, it's kind of weird. You know, in our racing, you never really see a caution just literally fly. Because 9 times out of 10, they want to go ahead and just get these road courses, run them green, and if you screw up, well, basically you're screwed pretty much.
Yeah, local cautions exist here on the road courses. Yellow flag in a corner or section to make drivers aware that something ahead of them has gone awry, if you will. In all of my years of Watkins Glen, whether it be broadcasting or racing, I have only seen one race where there was an actual caution called in iRacing at Watkins Glen, and it was a complete track blocker right here in turn number 2 or turn number 3 up the S's. a couple guys got together, and with the Armco on both sides, this place can get very crowded very quickly.
It absolutely can. And I tell you what, Dean, see if we can help Morgan out right here. Do a little something a little bit crazy. We did this a couple of weeks ago at Martinsville. We're going to go ahead and do the cattle auction just to get these guys all the way back around and get it lined up at the start-finish line. So, Morgan, this is kind of how we do it. If you want to try it later on down the road, or later on tonight, we'll see what happens. Here we go. There you see Dylan Cardenas, MDW right here on the front row. Cofield, all of them working their way through this kink right here on the back chute. Little buff stop. Got to be careful right there. Pace truck still leading them. Everybody's got to watch themselves. They can't overdrive that corner. Work their way in this long sweeping straightaway. Also, there was a little bit of a spot right there. You see right there where the barrels is. They usually go straight right there. That's the IMCA or IMSA, whatever the hell that kind of series is. Usually they go that way, and there's a little boot down there, kink all the way around. They have a couple parties down there. Party field right here at Watkins Glen, just like Pocono, Talladega, where the NASCAR series was last week. And this is fixing to get good right here as we get doubled up, getting ready to go. Hopefully each and every one of you love that. I'm trying to get my breath back as we're getting ready for the next round of the concerns. Oh, Police Survivors Truck Series, Watkins Glen, Hot Lap 160. We're going bowling here tonight. Who's going to go bowling in turn one and absolutely clean the field out? Looks like they're going to get down through there very cleanly. Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson trying to shoot up through there as well. But Dylan Cardenas, MDW, starting to work the way up through the S's.
This is the one racetrack. We're starting on the pole is a disadvantage. You get the outside for turn one and turn two. Let's see what can go up the S's here into the short chute. Looks like MDW is going to go take that lead away. And now he just got to set sail. They're side by side behind you into the bus stop.
Yeah, and also, I'm in a little bit of contact right there. Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson trying to dive down to the inside of Cardenas. Cardenas still holding on right there. Remember, Cardenas, your Martinsville winner, kind of just came out of nowhere, got that win, locked himself in, but that win has really done a lot for him throughout this season, has given him a lot of momentum as we're here in the back a little bit of blinking back there in that fifth spot. Fourth spot. That's Cofield. You flip-flop back here to some of these guys back here. Hope Wade and Cody Nod. There's Raul Meza in the 37. A couple of these guys might have got caught up in some of these wrecks right there at the start. That might have been a pile-up back there in the S's we didn't know about because we were watching Wood and Cardenas battling it out for the lead going into the bus stop.
That is a difficulty of these road courses. Since there's no cautions, there's no real reason to bunch the field back up short of a stage. You see the track map on your screen here. Good idea of where everybody is. And already after one lap, we have the leaders working through the S's. Last on the field is yet to hit start-finish line. That's how big the field spread is here. A lot of these drivers are just trying to get this thing over with.
Yeah, and there you see Buzzy right there, Buzzy Mongold right there, and the 12 kind of goes around, and here we go, everybody else. There's Richards driving down in there. There's James Beard trying to work his way up through the field. Richards shot around him like he was sitting still as they worked their way into the bus stop. A couple of others back there, Tristan Bruce in the 3. How do you do, sir? Sitting in there trying to get around Cummins, Matthew Cummins, that is. Dade Hagen right behind him. And a lot of drivers making a lot of desperate moves, I guess you could say, because, Morgan, you're a lot better at road courses than I am. I'll just go ahead and be honest with you. I suck at these places. I am straight up terrible at road courses in general. You got a better idea of it than I do. But you want to try to use every bit of the road, I guess you could say. You want to use all of it to your advantage. Kind of like a CDL instructor would teach someone who's trying to get their CDL license. Use all the pavement available to you. That's what you got to do here.
Yeah, definitely want to use the entire racetrack. That's how you carry the most speed. You get right down on the apex on the curb without upsetting the truck, although these curbs are pretty flat. You can use them pretty aggressively. You want to get all the way out to the white lines, to the yellow lines, wherever they may be. You're going to see it here quite a bit on the carousel after the bus stop here. You go all the way out onto that pavement area. It's all legal to go out there, and it's much, much faster. And you'll see that here. All the fast guys use that. Some of the slower guys maybe keep it between the lines.
Slower guys need to keep between the lines. What are you trying to go with there, Morgan? You kind of tried to get a little bit of interest and entertainment lined up right there for us. There you see Jordan Jurassic trying to work his way up through the field. And, Morgan, we've caught a lot of crap from Jordan Rassick. I've seen some of this boy's TikTok videos. I'll go ahead and call it out. Obviously from Port Lavaca, I think that's how you pronounce it, Texas. But I've seen some of his TikTok videos, Morgan, and he has kind of threw, me under the bus because I'm not getting his name right. Somehow or another, I'm not saying it right. We thought it was like Jurassic Park, and then we tried to go with Jurassic, and then we kind of just went everywhere. So I think at this point, we just said, screw it. We're just going to call him JD and just see if that sticks at this point.
Yeah, JD, that's definitely easier to pronounce. I think we'll roll with that here for the remainder of the season as MDW dives it down into the carousel, and got the 15 following him. Cardenas hasn't had a chance to go back up and getting MDW, and that is one of these things about road courses. That's why Jake has mentioned all this aggressive driving at the start. Once somebody gets around you, it is very difficult to go catch them because we have such a long run here, all the way up to 27, before we pit again, or before we need tires again anyway, before everyone gets re-racked. So you really want to get all you can, and then once you get it, just drive away and extend that lead. Dirty air is massive on these road courses.
Absolutely. And folks, if you're just joining us 5 laps into a 65-lap event for the Hot Lap 160, this is a recorded version of what happened Friday night. None of us know who won this thing. We don't even know who won it. Nick Sacco could have won this thing. The Animal Keith Bradley, MDW. Any of these guys could have won this race Friday night. I mean, I'm sure everybody probably maybe knows, but none of us, me, Morgan Dean, we have no idea who won this thing. We didn't go and look at the results page. We have no idea who won this thing. So we're basically watching along with some of you that don't know who won. We're basically watching along with you guys as well. And there you see Jeff Merck back there in the 24th spot. He is like, me and Morgan, we were talking about this a while ago, Morgan. This guy right here, he needs some damn stage points. He needs to get some playoff points, some stage points. He needs to get up front. He needs to get out of this slump. Or else there's a possibility that him being a past champion, he could miss out on the playoffs. We're just coming up right here. This coming Friday night will be the 10th race of the season. These seasons are very short. So Mark's got to find something if he wants to get in the playoffs. Otherwise, he's going to be watching from the sidelines.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but trying to drive through 20-some cars to get up to the top 10 at Watkins Glen is about the hardest place to do it on the schedule. So he's going to have to, pull that belts tight and get after it, because he's going to have to pick up another 2 seconds a lap probably if he's going to get up to the top 10 on this run. Because currently he, I believe, is just entering the S's, and the leader is already in the carousel on the opposite side of the racetrack. So it's going to be a tall order to get there.
Well, folks, if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe to the NASCAR 360 Racing Network wherever you are. There you see the 54 back here. That's Matt Cherry. Matt Cherry had a pretty good little run going on last night with the DSR Electric Truck Series. I would say, he had a good run. Me and Dean know where we're going with that. There's Adam Newton. He also had a very fantastic run going on. Is Newton actually going to get that run right there behind Matt Cherry? And this place right here, if we can, let's ride on board. With Adam Newton right there, which is obviously, Murph's Magical Creations with the power of the unicorn on the front is, baby, sends it, almost gets in the Cherry, knocks him up the hill almost. That turn right there is very crazy, honestly, Morgan, because I love that turn. Oh, well, you know what? I was going to kind of do a whole lap out of this, but hell, they're making entertainment for us, so I'm not even going to worry about trying to call how the track is. This is awesome right here, seeing these guys get after it.
54 is about to get himself dumped here if he keeps chopping the nose like that. Golly. Almost got wrecked in 1, almost got wrecked in 2, almost got wrecked in 3, and all the way up the hill. He's gapped him a little bit right here, and you can't really go through the carousel or the bus stop side by side. Maybe on the next lap, we'll have another shot at it.
Well, he did get wrecked in 3, but I'm talking about last night. Yeah, I already hear Dean in my ear already. Stay calm. Let's not get fired here tonight. But here we go. Animal Keith Bradley trying to work his way up through the field. He just got around John Freeman to take out the animal up to P6. He's going to go after Michael Kostick. And, you know, Morgan, this is, wow, here we go. A little three-way battle right here. Tristan Bruce trying to work his way around James Beard. Jordan, or JD, just got around him, got around both of them. He's trying to set sail. But Morgan, this is the part right here, I guess you could say, where everybody may look at it and go, well, this sucks. And the reason I say that is you got MDW, he's got a 2-second lead. Then you go another 3 seconds back from Cardenas. You find Toddy Horse, Ryan Johnson, Cofield closed in on him. That's a close little battle. But it seems like everybody just kind of gets spread out. And that's where a lot of people sit there and they go, well, that's why we don't like road course racing, because it gets spread out. I mean, what do you think?
It's also difficult to stay focused as a driver, as we just about saw an accident there into the bus stop with a interesting defensive line there. But it's hard to stay focused as a driver. I did a road course race last night at Chicago at the Roval, and you start to just think about other stuff, and it causes issues, and that's why we end up seeing these accidents in another 10 laps or so, because people are just trying to, am I actually going to catch that guy? Probably not. Is the guy behind me going to get me? Probably not. Now what? And it's a difficult kind of mindset to get yourself out of, is to just focus up and drive the racetrack.
Speaking of which, Morgan, how did you do at the Roval last night? I'm curious.
P9, top 10. Crashed twice, but I got there.
So there must only there might have only been about 10 guys in the whole race. So but anyway,
17.
Sorry, Morgan.
17.
Oh, I had to do it, but
I was hoping we weren't going to talk about that, but yeah, there were 17. So still top 10. I'll take it.
Oh boy, there's Kermit, Luke Smith up here, the 27 or 83, however you want to look at it. He's trying to run down Matthew Lee. Matt Cherry right there smack dab in the middle of this. Adam Newton back there, as well as Luke Smith, Matthew Montgomery back there. All of these guys going after that last stage point. We got 3 laps to go before we get to the end of stage number 1. There you see Isaac Bevan go way wide in the 27. That's an interesting take, I guess you could say, going through what they call the carousel. Morgan, very interesting take out of that. But we got to stay with this battle right here for top 10, because Lee, you got Cherry right there, Luke Smith, all these guys going after that stage point, last stage point. And Morgan, we've seen guys miss out on the playoffs by 1 point. So you never know. This 1 point these guys are going after, it could mean the difference between getting in the playoffs and missing out.
This is a good place to get a point, especially if you're one of the drivers trying to defend. It's a lot easier to defend on a road course than it is to pass on a road course, so long as you take care of your stuff. More so than an oval, there's less options for where you can run on the racetrack. Obviously, an oval, you can run high side, low side, sometimes the middle. Whereas here, the racing line is the racing line. There is no offline speed anywhere. You're not going to run the high side of the carousel and try and get after it. It's just part of it. So it's a lot easier to defend here at Watkins Glen versus a track like, say, Atlanta.
Ooh, hold on to it, baby. Ryan Toddy Horse Johnson right in front of Jonathan Cofield, Munford, Alabama, trying to work his way to the left side. We got traffic right in front of him. Cody Nod. There's a big
Got him.
Toddy Horse gets nailed in the back end. Oh my gosh, I am happy that Ryan Toddy Horse Johnson is not coming over to my house this coming weekend for the not baby shower, but the men's drink and cornhole. Happy Toddy Horse ain't coming, because if he is, Jonathan Cofield might be leaving my house with a black eye. So that would be terrible. You could say last lap, a couple of guys, actually, Dean and Morgan, this right here, this is 2 to go. And all these guys coming in right here with 2 laps to go. Perfect timing for them to come in, maybe get some gas, get some tires, and be able to get going. But it's like you said, Dean, we're staying green all the way to the end of stage number 1.
I'm not sure how much flipping the stage is really going to help you in this case, because we're not going to get that caution to bunch them back up. It might have been more beneficial to wait until this lap after you get the stage points, then pit, then go to the end of stage 2.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I mean, you look at that 65% for the fuel capacity. I mean, honestly, I didn't do a whole lot of testing, so I'm not 100% how far they could go. I mean, Morgan, you got a little bit, I mean, do you have a better idea than I do? I mean, how far do you think they possibly could go?
Ask me in 8 laps, and I'll tell you.
That'll work. I'll ask you in about 8 laps, and we'll figure it out from there. Well, there you see Adam Newton. He has finally worked his way around Matt Cherry. Lee Smith right behind him. They're going to try to chase down Nick Sacco. They got a 5-second gap. They got to figure that out and try to get up there to him. But everybody firing off and shooting through the end of the S's. And, you know, Morgan, you know, I talked about that carousel a while ago. You talked about the S's. I talked about the first turn. But where Adam Newton and all of them was coming to right there, that bus stop, that is, in my opinion, I love that turn here as we see MDW coming down pit road right here. At the end of lap 12 right here, he's already got the stage 1 win, so he's locked that up. Cardenas is going to stay out and gas up and take off, so I'm sure he'll go in this next lap. But back to what I was talking about, Morgan, that bus stop, in my opinion, that's the most entertaining turn on the whole track.
It's definitely a lot of fun from the driver's seat as well. You have to really cheat the entry. You feel like you're going to smack the wall on the entry, but you never do. You never get that far to the right. But it sets you up really nice to yank it back to the left, hit the 2 inside corners, and then just power it straight off of the bus stop there into the carousel. Got to be careful, though. That transition from bus stop to carousel, that will get you in trouble and spin you around. That's what we saw earlier with that truck way out on top of that white line. Was they got loose, hit the brakes, and skidded out off the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be careful. Right there's those cones going down that way to the IMCA.
IMSA.
Yeah.
IMCA is a dirt racing league, so not the same.
Well, I mean, a lot of people was probably thinking YMCA from the Village People. That's what they were probably thinking out of it, and that's not where I was going with that. But I had it all mixed up. Look, when you do a cattle auction deal, try to get everything caught back up, it'll screw with you, and you'll end up throwing out letters you didn't even know about. You'll throw an F in there if you get an opportunity, I guess. But there you see JD working his way up through here, trying to chase down MDW, the number 21. Wood very, very fast here in the ongoing. Mr. Pole Center, he only dropped 9 spots, Morgan, from where he was at, which, I mean, that's where he's at, sitting in 9th. He was leading. He only dropped 9 spots from that pit stop. Very interesting to see that as we are in stage 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic, and Wood trying to get away from old GD as they work their way through this.
I don't believe that the 6 is pit yet. I think that's why he has gotten to this point on Wood there, as we just about had an incident coming off of turn number 1 with a lap machine. 27 is going to go ahead and go grab that spot and continue to drive away and continue the march up to the front of the field.
Yeah, and Isaac Bevan, honestly, he's one of those sleeper guys. We don't get a whole lot of chances to talk about some of these guys that we see out here on the racetrack, wherever they're running. Morgan, just to kind of fill time right here, talk about Thomas Cohick right there, one of the newer drivers, coming on the scene this season. Right there, we talked about Isaac Bevan, Kyle Hess. We've seen him race with Nazareth for, a good many seasons. But Thomas Cohick's one of those guys that we don't really talk about right here on this Shell Ford. He's been very quiet. He's not been at the back, but he hasn't been up the front. He's kind of been right there smack dab in the middle, which is, I guess, where you would want to be coming into your newer season. Because you don't want to finish up front the whole time, because then you got to you got to live up to expectations for the next season.
That's one way to look at it. I always preferred to be up at the front, Jake. I'm not sure about you, but I always want to finish, up there in the top 3 all the time. Get to talk with us. That's really what we're going for here. Yeah, Jake's not a fan of the lead. I'm not really sure why that is. Never seems to find himself there. But I'm kidding, buddy. I'm kidding, of course. But expectations are important, and for your rookie season to run in the middle of the pack is perfectly fine. To be able to set yourself up for a little bit better next year, and maybe year 2, year 3 fighting for a chip.
Yeah, I mean, you see Huck Wigginton right here going through the bus stop, as well as Devin Painter, another driver with that Blue Line Racing stable. The silent assassin is what they called him. But Morgan, I think about that, mid-tier mentality, because I would love to be up front. I'm not scared to be up at the front. I just can't never get my ass up there. I mean, honestly, I never can get up to the front because I suck that bad. So I just end up just going in, just keeping expectations real and just keeping it right in the middle. That's kind of what I try to do.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. That is part of racing, is setting the proper expectations and delivering on those expectations. As a track like this here at the road course, not everyone's good here. I think we all know that not every oval driver translates well to road and road to oval and vice versa. So having proper expectations for this race, thinking as we have a excellent battle here, MDW trying to march back through the field here. If you're great at road courses, be great at road courses. If you're not going to be great here today, just keep it on the racetrack. Don't crash. Don't hurt yourself, right? Because you're going to end up passing guys who get a little too ambitious and then taking themselves out of what could have been a good finish.
Absolutely. And folks, if you just caught what I said just a while ago, I do want to apologize for what I said. Might have went a little bit overboard with something I said, so do want to apologize for that. Yes, Dean, that's exactly what I said. So, and I don't want anybody coming after me and then trying to get after me one more time. So just wanted to go ahead and apologize for that. Sorry about that. We'll carry on right here. But I agree with everything you said. Actually, Morgan, I'm not even gonna lie to you, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't even listen to a word you said. My wife came in here and I kissed my son goodnight, so I never heard a word you said right there. But I'm sure everybody else was all good. Well, baby, 3 wide, MDW. That's how you wake up the field right there. Wood shoots it through the middle and locks it up full sends. MDW knows how to get around these road courses. Morgan, he could be a driver we better be watching out for here this evening.
Well, I would say he's definitely the class of the field now, as nobody in front of him has pit, and he's already picking them off. This is a very impressive drive here for driver 21.
Yeah, I mean, and the bad part about it is everybody's going to look at him, no offense, and be like, well, he's stinking the field up. Well, no, he's not really stinking the field up. I used to think that. Morgan, if I could for a second, I used to think that about some of the drivers that I raced against. Some of them, stink the field up, and I still think they do. When I raced against them, but, Wood is just that fast. He is just that fast, and we see him at road courses, see him at ovals and everything. The kid is very, very experienced, and, I call him a kid. We've seen him on his webcam and everything else. He is a kid. So he's going to be around for quite some time. Some of these old dogs better figure something out pretty quick if they want to have a shot to take the kid out. That being MDW, you see Michael Kostick up here getting himself a little bit of TV time. Up here at the front, Jonathan Cofield sitting back there in that second spot in the 58. We saw him a while ago. Serve Pro 37 almost hit the guardrail, with Lee trying to work his way by. John Freeman, Nick Sacco, all those guys trying to work their way around Raul Meza.
Let me tell you, if I had one place I didn't want to have to pass somebody, it would be right there in the S's. Truck is very light on its feet, hard to get the momentum pointed forward, and you really want to make best use of this straightaway here as you dive into the bus stop. Let's see, we ride on board, good entry. Yeah, able to pin that thing to the bottom and get a good drive off the exit. Didn't lose much time there at all. Now this is where it gets really important to pin it down to the bottom. MDW takes the lead again as your leaders are going to pit here. So I guess my answer, Jake, to fuel, about 19 laps is what I would run on fuel here.
Yeah, good possibility. That's what I would go with. And you were talking about right here where Wood's going through these S's, that you got to be careful going through those S's. Because the truck will get light and everything. Folks, he's not understating that right there. That truck will get light. It will absolutely. I've drove it through there. I've had to straight up left and almost hit the brakes because I almost literally sideswiped the guardrail right there on the right coming over that hill. It will straight up come out and bite you. So, just look at that. Just for a second. I tell you what. About 15 seconds. Morgan, just listen to how MDW is wheeling this truck right here. Just for about 15 seconds. Just let you listen to all this. You saw the wheel kicking sideways. Check him out. saw that guardrail right there. That's what I was talking about, where these guys can literally sideswipe it hard. But this, like I said right here, this little bus stop, bam! I mean, that guardrail that stuck out right there. I mean, there's guardrail all the way around this damn place, but that guardrail right there going into the bus stop, I have missed that guardrail so many times, and there's so many times I thought I was going to hit it more than I was going to miss it. I mean, you know what guardrail I'm talking about? Just that one little bit that just sticks out just enough for you to literally T-bone the damn thing. That is the scariest part of the whole track.
Yeah, you have to aim for it. That's where the speed is. You have to get as close as you can to that guardrail without touching it. I was talking about it earlier. But if you do touch it, it's day over for you and the guy beside you, because that truck is destroyed. So see Lucas Lyon struggling up the hill here. There's a good example of how loose it is. Lost 8 truck lengths just rolling up the hill through turn 5. Then right there, that guardrail. You want to aim for it, but you'll never hit it unless you turn in way too soon. You have to miss that thing by a country mile to even come close to really damaging the truck.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that right there, folks, if you ever had an idea and you was going to go ahead and try to drink a six-pack and try to race here at the Watkins Glen International Road Course, and you thinking about trying to go as fast as you can, going through that bus stop, don't, because you have nightmares. Don't do it when you got a good buzz, because you will hit that guardrail. Why? Because I did it. Lucas Lyon's trying to send right here, get around Robbie Richards, gets a little bit sideways, knocks the back end around. And, Morgan, I remember that spot right there as well here in these trucks when I was in the DSR Electric Truck Series. Back end can step out big time right there off that last turn. These guys searching for some grip out here. I mean, it is a little bit hot. We was creeping up around the 100-degree track temp mark. So these guys kind of trying to search for that grip all sideways as they work their way through the bus stop again. Oh!
Car off in the dirt there. That is less than optimal. So we're back going here. Dane Hagen. That's going to be a tough break for that race. Looks like the truck is okay. And we got 4 trucks battling here, avoiding the lap cars through the bus stop. Doesn't get more intense than that here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I mean, this is big right here. You see right there where Adam Newton, Matt Cherry, these guys have just not left one another. I mean, they are so close to one another. They were so close all the way to the end of the stage. They more or less pitted right there with each other. There's Barney right there. Barney's kind of just waiting for something to pop off. If he would have been back there on the backstretch on the bus stop, he would have seen Dane Hagen go around, I guess you could say. But at about another 5 laps, Barney's going to wave that flag, go to lap 27. We're going to pay out some stage points and playoff points. And MDW has already won stage 1. He looks like he may be trying to go for the sweep here tonight and go for stage 2 presented by the Glass Mechanic and try to take it all the way to the house and get the win as well. So Wood's looking good. There's old JD back here trying to work his way back up through the field as well.
And that's the reason why I'm a little confused. MDW obviously winning stage 1. Why drivers tried to flip the stage for stage 1 knowing it was going to stay green is you effectively gave up stage points for nothing, because you were going to have to pit in. You could go another 8 laps or so from when the stage ended. Not sure why some decided to pit so early, because now is where it's going to come back and bite you, because now you have the oldest tires on the racetrack and the new ones are going to get around you.
Yeah, they might have got crossed up, honestly, Morgan. They might have thought that stage 1 was going to end under caution, stage 2 was going to end under caution. I've done that a couple of times. I've actually got crossed up on that one. So they go in, they pit, and they think, okay, well, pit road's closed right here. We'll be good to go. Whoops, not entirely. We're still racing. So, that is a possibility as to why they went in. Right there coming to 2 laps to go, knowing that there maybe is a shot, and then all of a sudden they go, well, nope, we're screwed. We're in trouble. And so as we're seeing right there, we saw Keith Bradley right there. We saw the animal. He was in pretty good contention. Now he's 6 laps down. So some of these guys that we're seeing 5, 6 laps down, Brandon New, we saw what happened to Dane Hagen, but Keith Bradley 6 laps down. I'm not 100% what happened to the animal here in this race. He was up there inside the top 10, and now he's just pretty much out of it.
could have been one of the situations, like I mentioned earlier, where you get a little complacent when you're just kind of logging laps by yourself with no one really in sight, in front or behind. It's really easy to make a mistake into turn one, make a mistake up the hill, make a mistake into the bus stop, through the carousel, into penultimate, and hit the wall in the final corner, something like that. Even hit the barrels on mid entry. It's really easy to make a mistake here and lose all that track position and really hurt the truck.
And, Morgan, I'll ask you this as well, obviously, as we're seeing Nick Sacco trying to run down Matt Lee and John Freeman. A lot of people I know, when they're out racing and they go to some of these road courses, they'll flip on like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, and or even their iPod or MP3 or whatever, and they'll play some music while they're going around the road course. You see Bevan going around Richards, but, do you listen to music while you're racing around on a road course just to kind of get yourself kind of zoned in and make sure that you stay focused at what you're doing?
I listened to the symphony of horsepower under the hood, and as we got one off track there in that access road, missed the corner altogether there. But I prefer to just listen to the tires and the engine and the spotter and all that, and just get after it that way. If I listen to music, I'll get way too distracted and won't be able to bring it back. That's how I do it.
Yeah, I mean, there you see right there, Lucas Lyons, all these guys in this little bit of a pack right here. Oh, baby, send it, Bevan. Gets around. Like that was Buzzy Mongo. Richards not too far back from this battle as well. They're trying to chase down Lucas Lyons for that 13th spot. And, Morgan, back to what you were talking about, I actually tried that. I listened to some music one time. I've done a league race, or actually it wasn't a league race, it was an official race at Talladega. And actually, we're seeing out there in the live chat that Keith Bradley, his wheel got disconnected. Just FYI, we didn't know that. But his wheel disconnected. He must have had a big old wreck and must have called it a night after that. But Morgan, like I was talking about a second ago, I tried it one time at Talladega in an official race. And what better song to play while you're racing at Talladega than Freebird? Oh, baby, Lyons getting loose, going in the bus stop, locked it up, hold back in, come around. He was probably screaming Freebird while he was sending it in there, trying to make it stick, but he holds on to that 13th spot as we are in the last lap, or coming to the last lap. MDW working his way around the racetrack. You see him going through the bus stop, and remember, it's at the end of lap 27 is where they're going to right here. So Wood's got to go one more time around and try to go for the sweep.
There are a bunch of drivers really hoping for this caution flag to come out really quick so that they can stay on the lead lap. You can see one right in front of MDW here. Not exactly sure who that is, but they are really hoping that MDW takes it easy here for this last lap so that they can stay on the lead lap and still have a shot at getting a good finish here today.
There you see Wood coming around. He will take the white flag for stage number 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic. He's got to get all the way around one more time and get to the end of it. He'll get him another playoff point. We saw him on those stand-ins as well, Morgan. Obviously won at Vegas in that last lap fiasco, I guess you could say, that where Nick Sacco and Jordan Durasic, they were battling it out. Woods slides down to the inside after Sacco and Durasic get into it, and then Woods able to get that win. Already got himself locked in, just padding those playoff points. When we get to playoff time, he's got all those bad boys in the bank to try to help him make it into the next round.
And we've seen in NASCAR, we've seen in other leagues, other series, the playoff points and any bonuses you can get throughout the regular season, very, very helpful. In case you have a bad race in the playoffs, it softens the blow. And if you don't have a bad race, it makes it that much harder for your competitors to go up there and get you and get those points and win the championship.
There you see Durasic. He's going to work his way around Adam Newton. Those are stage points up for grabs, but off turn, whatever last turn this is here at Watkins Glen, MDW cuts it low, almost hits the inside rotated wall, and he will get stage 2 presented by the Glass Mechanic. So stage 1, stage 2 goes to MDW, and everybody else works their way across the line to get their stage points. So Wood gets the win. That's where he started at. And he's looking like he's in prime position to take hold of this, baby. and take it all the way to the house and get the win. So, folks, while we got the opportunity, we'll go ahead and get it fast forwarded, but we're going to take a quick commercial break because this is probably the only one we're going to get. So we'll play a couple of ads from some of our great sponsors here with Nazareth. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's magical creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Folks, we're back here at Watkins, Glen. You see the field doubled up. Caustic right there on the inside. MDW is going to be starting to his outside, at least for the time being, going into turn number 1. Cardenas, Cofield, Lee, the top 5. Green flag back in the air. And we're underway here for stage 3, which is going to be for 35 laps all the way to the end. Woods sends it around the outside, makes it stick, and baby, look at this. Everybody diving in. We got a spinner in the back. Might have been Cohick back there getting spun around, but obviously no caution like you were talking about right there, Morgan. No local cautions, anything like that, so no yellow on the field. Everybody working their way through the S's and heading to the bus stop.
How about props to the field for missing that as we're about to get wild here into the bus stop. Almost 3 wide. Contact! Door banging each other. They're going to make it out of here. I don't know if they will. Oh, wow. 6 cut him a break in a big way. 44 probably should have got the door there, but he did not. JD cut him some slack as the 6 is going to drag race off of the carousel. What happens down here in penultimate, Jake?
Oh, baby, Lee is lucky right there, and now Lee's going to jump right in front of Jurassic. Jurassic has to jump on the binders. Sacco almost gets into the back of Jurassic. Big stack up. Lee's going to gas up. He's going to love it and get away and be thankful that JD didn't straight up turn him around when he was coming out of the bus stop. And he is going to be very thankful and get away as fast as he possibly can. Woods got the lead. Caustic in second. Cofield in third. Cardenas fourth. Tristan Bruce has worked that number 3 up through the field and has got up into the top 5. Cherry's going to shove Freeman off the racetrack. Right behind them, Lucas Lyons trying to work his way up through here. Barely misses Cherry on the back end. Whew! Golly! Hard racing. Also, Don Merck out there come to say hi. Just saw it's a road course, so I'm out of here. I don't blame her, not one bit. I don't blame her one bit. As you see, I'm working away at the bus stop. Cherry almost was screaming.
Oh, there goes the 54 off the track. Can he save it? Oh, he did. That was close. Holy, Lucas just about sent him around. And then Cherry tried to get him back there in the center of the carousel. Couldn't do it. I think Cherry actually popped that Armco barrier into the bus stop a little bit. I saw some pieces of rubber fly off there. That was a little too close for comfort. Side by side through here is just going to slow you both down into the final corner. This wall comes up real quick. What's going to happen here? Newton and Cherry able to get through there just fine. 54's got the momentum on the high side. How about 3 wide? 3 wide? 3 wide? Not 3 wide. Back to Jake.
Kermit's going to be real easy right there. Slide right through there and try not to get involved. There you see Cherry right there still up on the outside. He's going to go to the outside. Flop goes back to the inside. If he can make it stick, yes, he will. Newton is still there. Now Newton back to the inside, and they'll work their way into the bus stop. Kermit right behind them, trying to latch on and close that gap as well. But boy, whoa! Like Kermit just said, screw it, I'm getting out of this. Let one right by him right there. And everybody works their way, wants to get through the bus stop. But one thing I love about that bus stop, Morgan, you saw it. I mean, you were talking about it a second ago where you said they hit something or whatever, but you see these guys a lot of times get airborne through there. It's one of the craziest parts in all of NASRA and all of NASCAR, watching those guys go through the bus stop, hitting that curb and getting airborne and trying to keep that truck under control.
Yeah, having the truck airborne is actually the fast way, which is, you never say that anywhere else. You typically want to keep all four of these Goodyear Eagles planted on the racing surfaces. Cofield just got past here, it looks like, and under fire a little bit more. Caustic falling back through the field, going to lose 2, maybe 3 spots as we work up here through 5.
There you see Cardenas trying to latch on as well. Tristan Bruce in the 3 right there sitting in the pit spot, trying to close that gap as well. And for the most part right now, MDW has checked out 2.5 seconds over the rest of the field. Cofield holding on to second. Cardenas, Caustic, Bruce, they're in that little battle for that second spot, not too far back. Matthew Lee there with Jordan Durasic, Nick Sacco. There's Devin Painter back there with James Beard. Right in behind Robbie Richards. All these guys back here working their way through the carousel, just trying to hold it together, make it stick. And, Morgan, I talked about this as well. I talked about this when we was at the Chicago Street Course with me and Wes Allen on the Monday Night Truck Series for DSR Electric. These road courses are somewhat like, I guess you could say, wild card races, much like Daytona, Talladega, New Atlanta, even short tracks like Bristol, Martinsville. You tend to see guys up at the front that you usually would not see. That's not the case here tonight. Top 10, all of them, we've talked about them a lot, with the exception of John Freeman being the new guy here with the C.O.P.S Truck Series. But, I mean, usually this is a wild card deal, as this is getting really wild back here in the back. Robbie Richards right here with Matthew Montgomery, all these guys slugging it out through the S's.
Yeah, that was almost another accident, just waiting to happen there. That's 3 trucks in very close proximity there up into turn number 3. Is big drive. Oh, what are we doing here? About 3 wide through the carousel? That's not going to work. Matt Lee's going to fall back just a touch here. Is JD up a couple more spots. P6 to match the truck number, highest he's been all day. 67 right behind him. Sacco trying to get that spot here. Oh, it just about made contact. That was close, but not quite enough.
Yeah, and that pass may end up going on TikTok right there for Jordan Durasic. Was able to shoot right by both of them. Work his way up to 6. T. Bruce going down to the inside of Michael Caustic. This is the battle for the 4th spot. Bruce to the inside. Kick Caustic to the outside. And Caustic says, no, thank you very much. I'll just follow you through the S's. So Bruce will take that 4th spot, try to see if he can run down Cardenas and Cofield, who just a little bit up the road. Caustic will fall back into that 5th spot, and then there you see Durasic, Sacco, and Lee back there, slip back to the field once again. We see James
big
Beard
contact at the bottom of the S's.
Contact.
Massive crash at the bottom of the S's. I didn't see who it was, but that's a day ender right there. That truck is destroyed. Knocked the engine out of it, fluid all over the place. It is a disaster, a massacre, if you will, down there at the bottom of the S's.
Maybe we can see who that was. Somebody got nailed right there. Well, screw it. Dean, back it up a little bit. Let's see what it was, because if it was a massive crash, I would love to see it. If Morgan called it and it was a massive crash, I would love to see it. I ain't got a clue. I have no idea who it was. We'll back it up and we'll get it back live, somewhat live right here. But, Morgan saw it. He said that there was a big old crash way back there at the bottom of the S's going into turn 1.
Maybe grab a static camera down there in the entry of turn 2. You probably get a good shot at it. Gotcha. But, yeah, it was a big one. Definitely a head-on collision down there at the bottom of the S's. Yeah, it was it was at the bottom of the S's, so down in turn 3, beginning at bottom of the hill there. Yeah, hard. Yeah.
Well, odds are somebody ended up getting wiped out. I'm not 100% who it was, but somebody got wiped out. So if you got wiped out, we're sorry. We didn't get you on the broadcast, but we talked about it. That's the main thing. Jeff Mark
off the corner of the screen.
Yeah. You was off in the corner of the screen somehow, some way. But you see Jeff Mark working his way, trying to get around Raul Meza right here. And Mark back there in the 21st spot, not where you want to be. Want to get you some spots. Mark actually one of them that is very fast here at Watkins Glen. I seen him or raced against him here at Watkins Glen in the Nazareth Cup Series. Was very fast in that race when we were in the playoffs. But Mark not looking too good here in the trucks here tonight. Sacco is now reeling back in on JD. And Matt Lees actually fell back just a touch from this battle for the 6th spot.
And we talked about Merck there a little bit earlier about how he was 24 trying to get those stage points. He's only up to 21st, and that was 30 laps ago. So I mean, that's how difficult it is to pass here at Watkins Glen. And one more note before I pass it back over to Jake. We talked about fuel mileage a little bit in that first stint. About 18, 19 on fuel is the number. This last stage here, about 36 laps. Split it down the middle. Don't think about it. We should expect trucks down pit road here in about 11 more laps.
Attaboy, that's why we pay you the big bucks. Morgan Cook, MDW up at the front. Jonathan Cofield second. Cardatus, Bruce, and Kostick the top 5. And there you see Adam Newton riding on board the power of the Unicorn. Midtown, I believe, is the name of that Unicorn. Talked to Murph, who was on the door banging download for the Beer Buddies segment. We talked to him. I believe that's what he said, Midtown. That's what we're going to go with, was Midtown for that, for the name of that Unicorn. Very cool story. If you haven't yet, go check it out. Very cool story. I had no idea that was the whole deal of the Unicorn, or the story behind it. So if you want to hear about that, go check that out here after the race. Sacco, put a little pressure on JD. JD to the inside. Sacco's going to get out of the gas. Maybe not. He might just ride his bumper all the way through the bus stop. But no, JD gets away. And he's feeling the heat right now from Mr. Sacco.
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure applied there into the corner. There's a truck. Jeff Merckx on the pit lane here, not sure. Might have a little bit of left front damage, right front damage on that machine. Back to this battle. JD trying to hold him off as we go into penultimate. Got about a truck length away, but no closer. That's the runoff area I'm talking about. Oh, right to the inside. Sacco can't quite get the nose in there to alter the corner. And we race back down into turn number 1 and back to Jake.
Yeah, Sacco really putting the pressure on JD. Matt Lee not too far back, about give or take a little bit under a second. Back there you see Matt Lee right there. Check out this little battle back here. Newton still wearing out Lucas Lyons. For the most part, Lyons has been able to keep that number 53 right in front of him and not waver, I guess you can say. And one thing about it, you see right there on that back bumper of Lucas Lyons, has that yellow stripe, and you know, obviously that signifies that he is a rookie. That is not required in Nazareth for you to have that yellow stripe on the back bumper. Lines will give way to the veteran, the Bulldog, Adam Newton. But that's not required to have that on there, but he can do that as well with Adam Newton. Obviously was the DSR Electric Truck Series winner for Pocono last night. If you get a chance, go check it out. Fantastic. Thank you, Dean. You just straight up and spoiled it and made me end up saying it. But back to the yellow stripe deal, because, you know, Morgan, you know, if you think about it, NASCAR got to where they said, no, we're not going to have that yellow stripe on there. We're not going to, you know, y'all don't put the yellow stripe on there for the rookies anymore, which for a traditionalist like me is kind of a heartbreaker. So to see Lucas Lyons kind of carry it on a little bit of a tradition and having that yellow stripe on the back bumper to signify he is a rookie, I mean, I love that right there. I mean, that's just showing traditionalism right there.
Not only does he have the yellow stripes, he's also got the left rear damage to go along with it. See, that's probably not making that truck handle all that much better. There's a good shot of it right there. Yeah, it'll buff out, but not until after the race. Right now, it's got that spoiler crinkled a little bit, probably a touch loose in the left or in the right-handers here, which is the vast majority of this racetrack. Only one actual left-handed corner here. That's penultimate. Everything else is to the right, which is different than everywhere else, as we're well aware. But that truck probably not handling all that well, though he's still hanging on to, I believe, the 13th position. 11th at this point for Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, Lyons doing a fantastic job. Joshua Sust chiming in out there in the live chat. Go ahead, interact with us, folks, if you want to out there in the live chat as we see Brandon New going down pit road. But, Joshua Sust out there, Keith just doesn't know how to drive, talking about the animal Keith Bradley. Well, Josh, I hate to say this, buddy, you might have just walked yourself right into a big old problem, because to be honest with you, I don't even see Joshua Sust in this race. So at least he attempted the race, Josh. Just throw a little shade at you. Just throw a little shade your way, baby. MTW, almost 4 seconds over Jonathan Cofield. He's putting a whooping on him right now, literally taking him to the woodshed, or virtual woodshed, I should say. He's literally taking him to the virtual woodshed here tonight at Watkins Glen.
You see this a lot here at road courses. We've talked about kind of ringers all day here, drivers who excel on the road courses. I mean, he's obviously good everywhere, so he's not technically a ringer. He's just good at this. But there are drivers throughout this field who you would call ringers, as we are inside the earth there. That was one of them. He's the gopher cam, good one. He's rolling right now, up over 4 seconds in front of the field here, and no more natural breaks in this race, which is something that I think he's probably pretty excited about. That there's no more cautions to bunch everybody back up. All he has to do is, at this point, it's his race to lose. Just don't give it away.
And, Morgan, you talked about ringers a while ago. Obviously, road course ringers, we've heard that phrase in the past, where you see these guys that is up front, and, these are the guys that we see at road courses that's always up at the front. You look back at NASCAR, you think of Boris Said, Max Pappas, some of those guys, Sam Hortis Jr., Marcus Ambrose. We saw those guys up there at the front a lot, Ron Fellows, way back in the day. But you were talking about that. Who would you think is a road course ringer from what you've seen here tonight here in Nashville?
Well, that is a great question. I'm not as familiar as with this league as you probably are here, but I'm really impressed with the 58 of Cofield tonight. I'm pretty impressed, as well as the 15 of Cardenas. I think those are two drivers that I haven't seen show a ton of speed at Talladega and Bristol, the last two shows that we had, or that I had here. I do think that those second and third here in this race at this moment are what I would call the ringers from what I've seen.
No, Dean, we do not have a caution. I believe they run it all the way to the end, buddy. But, Cardenas could be one of those road course ringers. Usually, I haven't seen him up at the front a whole lot this season, with the exception of Martinsville, when he won that race at Martinsville. But, third place looking good for the number 15 entry. You see Nick Sacco right here, still trying to run down not Tristan Bruce, but JD, Jordan Durasic, Tristan Bruce all the way up there in the fourth spot. And you see him right there. You talked about that airborne going through the bus stop, trying to make it happen, spinning in front of him. Number 12.
Spinning right again. Oh, my goodness.
Another spinner up here. They're all said, well, Sacco just said, no way. I'll hit the cones, knock them out of the way, use every bit of the asphalt to my advantage. If they work their way around Buzzy Mongo, that's going to open the door for Matthew Lee in the 44 to jump up here into this mix.
And you want to talk about driving. How did that 6 car not spin off the front bumper of the lap car and still was able to keep it pointed in the right direction and continues to fight for the 6th position?
I'm telling you, folks, that's why he was the champion last season for season 9 of the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. That being JD, Jordan Durasic, up here trying to hold on for everything he's got. Sacco been putting a lot of pressure on him. Matthew Lee has entered it as well. John Freeman not too far back as well in that number 42 entry. There you see the battle for 6 between these 4 drivers. and Freeman about second and a half back, but these guys get a little bit racy up here, and they start door banging like we saw a while ago, and driving through the grass, driving off the track and everything. Freeman's in good contention. He's got a shot to get him a top 6 finish out of this thing.
Absolutely. This is the point in the run where the tires are starting to change a little bit. You're starting to realize if you were able to keep the rear tires under you, or if you overused them a little bit, and I think that's really causing some of these drivers to move up and down through the field, as this is one of the longer runs that we've had today, and one of the longer runs we will have today, just based on how this last stage looks. But look at that. Lee to the inside off of the final corner. He should be able to clear down here in turn number 1 as we hold our breath in anticipation. Pretty even in the braking zone. The 67 is going to go a little bit wide, take the quick line. Oh, he just about came back and got the 44. Freeman up here through the S's, not quite going to have enough momentum for the new guy, John Freeman.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I just saw right there, literally, for Sacco, is Lee was just riding and riding and riding and riding and riding, literally just all over his back bumper, just waiting for Sacco to screw up. Which is something you got to do here at Watkins Glen. I mean, you just got to sit there and you just got to ride. You talked about it a while ago, Morgan. Very hard to pass here unless somebody just screws up. Well, that's what you got to do. You got to worry them to death, fill the mirror full, get them to just slip just that little bit. And to be honest with you, if Freeman would have been a little bit closer to Sacco, he might have had a shot right there. Freeman might have went to 8th. As there you see one sliding up the hill, letting some of these guys go. A lap truck jumping out of the way, letting them go. But Sacco feels like he might be a little bit faster than Lee. That little slip might have cost him. I think he may end up thinking he's the 7th, or that he's at least the 7th place truck right here. Is there you see Lee, Sacco, Freeman, all of them battling for that 7th spot.
The battle for 7th is definitely not over yet. These 3 trucks, about as close as you're going to get here at the Watkins Glen International Speedway. Let's go up the S's here through. This is 4. Going to get right next to that Armco for 5. This long sweeping corner that never seems to end. Down to the short chute as Freeman's going to fall back here just a touch. And then up into the bus stop. Good shot right there by our man Dean. Here we go, down into the carousel. A little bit loose. Oh, there's that loose I was talking about earlier in the show. It's hard to get that thing pointed back to the right when the truck is trying to steer left.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up losing a lot of ground right there, so Freeman's going to have to latch on. He's going to have to calm down and try to put some laps together, work his way up through here. And as you saw just a second ago, we was a little bit late on it, but 20 to go. See if we can get our Premier Racing setups. 20 to go real quick. Let you hear from our obviously right there with Premier Racing Setups. You need one, you know where to go. PremierRacingSetups.com. Enter the code of NASRA, N-A-S-R-A, or Jake57. Get 15% off your entire order. And folks, like I say each and every week, if you want the setups that NASRA races, if you want the setups that the Redneck Announcer races, and if Dean will ever get a damn rig, if you want the setups that all of us race, go check them out. PremierRacingSetups.com. Dean, there's no way you're going to make your own setups. He may make his own setups. Give us a little shine. Here we go. Cardenas working his way around Jonathan Cofield as they're working their way back to 18 laps to go. Morgan, you were talking about this, splitting it right down the middle. This would be the time to do it.
Definitely. I'm not sure why Cofield is so far off the pace. He's given up like 2-3 seconds here and still just cruising. Maybe he just now realized that if he lifts a little bit, he can make it to pit road here. Might be, yeah, he is well off the pace. I'm not sure what's going on here. For driver 58, as Bruce hits pit road, so does Caustic, and they're filing in behind him. JD's there. See, oh my goodness, we got a bunch of drivers down pit road. This is going to be a feeding frenzy here the next couple laps, Jake.
Yeah, and you just saw Nick Sacco right there. He actually hit one of the cones going into the pits. He might have got busted right there. He may end up getting a black flag and have to serve a pit road penalty for hitting the cones. So we'll see what happens with Nick Sacco. He might have got lucky, and iRacing might have not have caught it. They might have had a blind eye right there. So Sacco might get lucky. We'll see how it works out for him. Matt Cherry in the 54 right behind him. MDW continues to lead. It's not pitted yet. He's got a 7-second gap right now over Cardenas and about another 4 seconds over Jonathan Cofield. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to the National 360 Racing Network. Will MDW go down pit road? Looks like he's going to go down right there, keeping it between the curb and the yellow line. Kicks it a little bit sideways, and MDW is going to slide down pit road.
Now, like I was telling Jake before this thing started, be really careful rolling this pit road. You can't see the exit of it right now. It's downhill for the final section. Very easy to speed here. If you're rolling at the iRacing pace speed, you'll get busted pretty much every time. I found that out in the league race here a few months ago. So don't do that, especially if you're MDW, who's led the majority of this race, had the fastest truck here today, and the rest of the field's going to pile in behind him, as we have pretty much the whole field on pit road right now.
Yeah, a lot of them coming down pit road. And one thing else about this right here, you were talking about that hill, you're not able to see the exit. So Wood looks like he's going to be able to jump out of pit road very cleanly and not get busted in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Adam Newton stays out. But one more thing about this pit road, it's backwards. Like literally it's backwards, Morgan. Usually when we see them, like say at at Vegas or Texas, where we're going to go next week, usually they come down pit road and the pit wall's on the left side. It's not on the right side where it is here at Watkins Glen. You got to go in backwards and have the wall to your right side, and then your pit crew's going to change your left side tires before they'll change your right side tires. So completely different, something we do not see anywhere else where we race at here with Nazareth, with a backwards pit road. So kind of, weird, when you see guys that know to get in their pits and jump down the left side. Watch again right here with Adam Newton as he goes down pit road right here. You see that obviously got to stay on the left side of the dotted white line. Usually it would be the right side of that dotted white line. He's got to stay over there and then turn right instead of left to get into his pit box. Really crazy right there to see that.
Yeah, for the people in the back, what's the configuration of pit road again, Jake? Backwards?
Backwards.
There it is. Fantastic.
Yes.
Glad to hear it. MDW back to the lead here. As everyone now has hit pit road for their cycle, 16 to go. Yeah, a few drivers getting ahead of Newton here based on the undercut. You got to remember, these tires, they wear, and the lap times change. It falls off quite a bit, so you stay out that extra lap. That could be 2 seconds that you just gave up, and now you got to fight all the way back throughout this run. And that's part of the reason why you pit early, why you undercut like what Wood did, is that if you pit first, nobody has a chance at undercutting you to go get that spot. And we look at the timing here. I believe Wood pitted in with about 4 second lead. It's up to 11 now, so it worked, whatever he did.
Good Lord. These boys right here, John Freeman, Nick Sacco, they were literally looking like Smokey and the Bandit, honestly, with Bandit Darville and obviously Buford T. Justice. That's how they're racing one another right there, sideways going through there. Well, for some of you that may not know, then we'll just go ahead and go different with this. Bo and Luke Duke and Roscoe P. Cotrain, if you're more comfortable with that analogy, however you want to look at it. There you see Justin Scruggs, a couple of others. Trying to find a Buzzy Mongo, Devin Painter right there with James Beard. All these guys working their way through the carousel and working their way to the last two turns here at Watkins Glen. And Devin Painter from Buena Vista, what is that, Virginia? I'm going to assume that's Virginia. VA should be Virginia, Morgan. I'm going to assume off of that. But Devin Painter having a little bit of a quiet night right there in that 99. Back there in the 19th spot, trying to get him a couple spots. He's going to look down to the inside of James Beard right here and try to see if he can get that 18th spot.
Haven't seen anyone quite go bowling yet down into turn one. Doesn't look like it's going to happen here either. Beard going to easily give that spot up. Not much of a challenge at all to the 99. It just drives right on by and up through turn 3 and 4 we go again up here through the Estes. And yeah, good run here for the Painter machine.
Another run right here. There you see Luke Smith right there. Kermit or Kremit or however you want to look at it, whatever his nickname is. We're going to go with Kermit the Frog. Obviously, actually, I talked to him about that last night right before the Pocono race. It was was talking to him a little bit about that, and he did mention Kermit the Frog, so we're going to stick with that. But Luke Smith in the 83 doing a pretty good little job right here, trying to run down Matt Cherry. They're still trying to run down Adam Newton right in front of them as well. So battles all over the place, but for the most part, everything's kind of got spread out. And MDW now with an 11-second lead over Dylan Cardenas. He's just got to hope nothing crazy happens these last 14 laps, and he'll sail away, and he'll get this win.
Now, this is the point where you're just reminding yourself, you only got 14 to go. Hit your marks in every corner. Don't overshoot anything. Don't try and be too fancy or too cute. There's 12 seconds to work with. Just bring it home in one piece. You break it down corner by corner, and you really can't go wrong in that situation. So riding on board here with the 58, who is trying to hunt down third spot in the 3 machine there. Bruce is not quite going to get there here off of the final corner. Clips the grass a little bit and going to drag race. Still not going to have momentum into turn number 1. Let's see. Outbreaks him a little bit, but still can't get to the inside. See if Cofield's able to make anything happen. Still have negative momentum, though, all the way up the hill and into the bus stop. So probably not going to happen this lap. Maybe have to settle for the next lap, the lap after that one.
Tristan Bruce, kind of, just kind of a side note right here. I saw this on Facebook. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. Saw that he ran a late model race. Trying to get this, I'm trying to remember exactly when this late model race was, but he ran a late model race not too long ago. Well, he won that race at the short track. I can't remember what short track it was. Give me a minute and I'll look it up probably on Facebook. But certainly want to give him congratulations on that. Obviously, when you get wins in the virtual reality, it's always cool. But when you transition that virtual reality and transition it to reality, and you get wins like that in reality motorsports, it's that much sweeter. So want to obviously offer those congratulations to Tristan Bruce for getting that late model win. Like I said, give me a minute, Morgan. I'll probably pull it up and I'll figure out exactly where it was and when it was.
And while you do that, everyone watching can get a live view of me eating my words, as it took about half a lap for the 58 to get around Tristan Bruce, as Bruce kind of pulled over into the carousel there and currently finds himself in the 4th position. That battle has subsided at the moment. We still got this one here raging. Luke Smith having a pretty good run here today. Find himself in the 12th spot. Lucas Lyons not too far behind him, and then right in front of him is Matt Cherry. Oh, we got Raul in the outside wall there. That Surf Pro machine got out of the way and just about caused a international incident, if you will, on the short shoot.
And I just pulled it up right here. Tristan Bruce did win that late model race. It was April 19th at Hickory Motor Speedway. That's where Tristan Bruce won that race. So pretty cool deal right there. Got some pictures and all that cool stuff right there with the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series at Hickory Motorsport or Hickory Motor Speedway, April 19th. So want to, like I said, extend those congratulations to Tristan Bruce out of that whole deal right there. So to quote some good friends of mine at work, I will say this, to quote some good friends of mine at work, he's a pretty big deal. Because we have that saying at work for people as well. Sucko, getting loose, Lee getting loose as well, working our way to the bus stop.
Yeah, as our producer mentioned, there's a little bit of a bump there as you roll onto the short chute that if you hit it wrong, it really makes the truck light. You see a lot of trucks here today, fishtailing, driving the wheels off of it, trying to get onto that short chute. And we saw here P7 and 8 do the same thing as they battle, trying to one-up each other, try and get a little bit more pointage, if you will, as we go into the later parts of this season. What do we got next week, Dean? It's Texas, is that right? There goes the schedule.
There it is. Texas, May the 1st will be a pretty cool one. Obviously, the Lone Star State. Who's going to get those revolvers, get a little 6-shooter action, shoot 'em up for 145 laps next Friday night, or this coming Friday night, actually, if you will. So, pretty cool out of that. Hey, real quick, just now look down at the date. I just now realized that I saw a couple of Facebook posts about this, but I did want to mention this real quick. Shout out to the late Dale Earnhardt. Today would have been his birthday. Obviously, he influenced a lot of people, and a lot of Dean. Don't even screw with this. You know exactly who Dale Earnhardt is. He's got to know who Dale Earnhardt is. But shout out to Dale Earnhardt. Today would have been his birthday. So shout out to Dale Earnhardt. Obviously, I was a fan of him. I was more of a fan of his son growing up, that being Dale Earnhardt Jr. But the Intimidator, 7-time NASCAR Winston Cup Series champion, his birthday would have been today. So shout out for that one. And to be honest with you, I mean, I never met the man, but I do miss seeing what racing could have been had he still been here, Morgan.
Yeah, I never had the pleasure of being able to watch him live. I was only 4 years old when he passed away, so I didn't get a good chance at all to watch him race. But it would have been definitely interesting to see live. Obviously, never got the opportunity, and so we're on here today in 2025.
Absolutely. Luke Smith, Kermit trying to work his way right here with Cherry. This is a battle right here that I do remember Kermit talking about last night, right before we went live for the Pocono race. He said to watch this battle between him and Matt Cherry. These guys were slugging it out for that 11th spot. So may want to check these boys out right here. I mean, look at them. I mean, they are just all over the place. Keith Bradley behind him, about 6-7 laps down from that wheel disconnect. We'll have to definitely go back and check that out here in a second. But Nick Sacco making pressure on Lee. Lee's out of shape. Here comes Sacco down to the inside. He's going to make it stick. He's going to get around Matt Lee. He'll go to 7th.
Yeah, Sacco really carved him up there out of penultimate. Here comes Lee back to the bottom. Big block. Oh, wow, just about an issue there. No dice for the 44. Sacco really got him. As Lee's going to try and cross him over, get the momentum up the hill. He's going to have it if he can stick it here. Up 3 and 4. Looks like Sacco's going to pull away ever so slightly. These trucks are out of control right now, Jake.
Slipping and sliding like they're on the slick track up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where you put the baby powder down. That's basically how they're driving. Look at them all sideways in the grass. Right. He is all over the place. Man, I mean, that is some driving right there. I would have already looped it. I'd already hit the wall, and I would have already called it a night. But Lee, very, very fast. Clinton Main, the number 44, showing us how to do it right there. And trying to run down Sacco, trying to get back to him. Sacco, remember, got the pass, made it happen. But then he put that block on him right here on the front stretch. Morgan, questionable, possibly. But, I mean, he made it stick and he made it work. So we go back here with Kermit and Cherry. Boy, I'm telling you, this is heating up right here behind these guys. And obviously the animal Keith Bradley latched right onto the back as well. Just trying to go as there you see he's got a watermelon for a helmet. I think he needs to get Kermit the Frog here and put him on the helmet.
Yeah, definitely a familiar sight where I'm up here in Saskatchewan. We, for some reason, love to put watermelons on our heads. It's a whole thing. I'm not really sure why. But Lee and Sacco side by side through the grass. That's a tough place to do it. Just a little corner cut for your troubles. Probably going to be a slowdown penalty here. We'll see if it's served on the carousel. Looks like it will be right here as Lee is going to slowly but surely drive away. It was an ambitious move, but it worked out.
It absolutely did. And I'm telling you, baby, I mean, these guys are going after it, slipping, sliding. Kermit trying to still run down Cherry. We are coming to this time around, or once Wood gets back to the line, we'll be with 5 laps to go. And, I think at this point, I think a lot of the drivers is literally waving the white flag. Not necessarily, for the last lap, but I think everybody is literally at the point of surrender at this point. They just want this sucker to end right here. And I'm sure Wood would love it too as well. I mean, when you get out to a 16-second lead, you pretty much literally got it in the bag. I mean, he could loop it if he wanted to, and he'd still have this sucker in the bag, but Cherry ain't got that spot in the bag, not by a long shot, just for the 11th spot. Kermit is all over that tailgate.
A couple drivers here who are kind of glued together. We got 3 and 4 pretty close together. 7, 8, 9, and then all of a sudden here, we got the 11th spot, Cherry, and a few others really fighting for this position. Watching this for the last little while here, and cannot quite sort it out. It's only going to take one slip from any of these drivers to really separate this part of the field. With 5 to go, you better get all it's got, because you don't have a whole lot of time to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to put down the hammer, and we've already got it at 5 laps to go. Kermit still trying to reel in Matt Cherry for that 11th spot. Don't really see a whole lot of other battles going on right now on the racetrack. Tristan Bruce starting to kind of catch Cofield. But these guys right here, I mean, this is the battle that, I was told to check out, at least right here at the end. And it has showed. I mean, they're slugging it out. They're literally driving like ticked-off teenagers with one another. And imagine if this would have been for the win right here, Morgan. I mean, but it is for the 11th spot. But that's the crazy thing about NASRA. That's the crazy thing about the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. You get action all the way through the field, and that's what you're seeing here tonight.
Really, iRacing as a whole has been like this recently. I've really become more partial to watching iRacing broadcasts on the host of different networks that do these. Oh, we got a spin there. Oh my goodness, that was a pucker moment for sure. But I've really started to watch these races and enjoy these races more than I have actual NASCAR on Sundays. Just because of the way that these races are. Usually the fields are a lot closer together. Obviously, everyone running similar setups, fixed setups sometimes. I find the racing to be a lot better here on iRacing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just crazy things. Obviously, with iRacing, it's Sacco now. He's going to try to reel back in Matt Lee. Still trying to battle for that 7th spot. There you see Sacco. See if we can actually see. Barely can see his helmet. 8-post kind of right there, smack dab in the way. But Sacco was in front of, there we go, got the whole black suit and everything else. But Sacco was in front of Lee at one point, and Lee got back around him. Then you got Freeman, you got Newton back here. These guys slugging it out as well. I mean, nothing is set in stone. Not even for the lead. Morgan, I mean, nothing is set in stone with any of these positions as we're now at 3 laps to go with MDW. But everything, I mean, nothing is set in stone. One little slip out of any of these guys, and think about this. You see right here with Kermit and all these other guys trying to work their way up through there as well. Not too far up the road, you see Newton and all those guys up there as well. So, I mean, nobody's out of the wood. I mean, nobody's out of the woods just yet.
Absolutely right. Want to take a second to say what a coulda, woulda, shoulda been for Keith Bradley here, hanging on to the back of this group here in what would be effectively 13th in the running order. He is having a fantastic run. If it wasn't for that wheel connection issue, which obviously has put him a number of laps down, currently sitting in the position was he here? Fairways back in the field, unfortunately, but able to keep pace with everyone. So yeah, I would be curious to see what he could do if he didn't have that handicap here throughout the race.
Absolutely. You see Isaac Bevan shooting his way around, I believe that is Buzzy Mongold. And, or actually that is Matthew Montgomery. So kind of weird. I saw 2 12s out there. I got crossed up. Because Buzzy Mongo was driving one of the 12s. MDW has got it down to 2 laps to go. There you see everybody working away around James Beard, Matt Cherry, Luke Smith, baby. They are still going after it. Luke was not lying. I thought he was just wanting some TV time last night. He is not lying. They are going after it. I tell you what, Morgan, which one do you think? You think Luke will get him, or do you think Cherry's going to end up bringing home that 11th spot?
I think Luke will get him. Usually you don't cheer for battle when you finish second in it, so we're gonna find out here when there's
Ooh.
2 laps to go.
Oh, baby, he looked down to the inside and might have tried to throw Cherry off and make him drive the corner. They better watch the back doors, though. You got, obviously Luke Smith right there. Now Keith Bradley tried to enter, maybe try to get in the middle of it. Maybe not. Maybe just ride behind them, not do anything crazy. Don't want to end up causing any kind of misfit action out of all this, as we will have to go up there and check out the leader one real quick time here in a second, eventually, when he comes around, at least gets to the back chute, because we want to see this, because Cherry goes off the track. Smith trying to go around him, and here comes Smith. Luke Smith is going to get around Cherry, but it's not over yet. Cherry to the inside, all this for 11th spot. They're slugging it out right here, more.
And drag race down the backstretch into penultimate inside line, goes to the 27. We've seen a lot of drivers be able to cross over here. 54, a lot of momentum. Now down to the final corner. Who's it going to be as we come to the white flag for this group? Still drag race. This is going to be a heck of a final lap for 11th spot.
We'll see what happens as they go into the turn 1 right here. The Cherry down to the inside. Tries to make it happen. They're going to door bang a little bit, but we got to go back to our leader. Sorry, MDW, you stunk up the field. Ended up literally waxing their tails here tonight. But MDW gets the win here tonight for the Hot Lap 160. Slides it sideways. There you see Jonathan Cofield working his way through the last turn. He will make it all the way home. He will come home second with Tristan Bruce, finishing in the 3rd spot. But Dean, we got the front 3. We have got to go back. Check this out. Adam Newton, John Freeman, they're coming to the end right here. We have one actually stopped on the racetrack there for a second. We got to go back here in a second. We got to go back to Luke Smith and Matt Cherry, see how that played out, because they were too wide there for a second. But there you see Freeman. Looks like he's going to be able to get Newton. So let's go back. Here we go. Cherry looks like, I'm telling you, Luke Smith got around him. Cherry just couldn't close the gap and couldn't get back up to him. I think Luke Smith played with him. Oh, baby. Everybody parked it on the bottom. Whew. They all parked it on the bottom. They all about ran into him, and that's going to work out for Luke Smith. He's going to come home with a top 10 out of all that.
And that was Cardenas who ran out of fuel. That was that slow car on the backstretch was the 15 machine, who ran up in the top 5 for the majority of this race. Not going to finish there at all. It's looking like here on the timing and scoring, down in the 13th, 14th position somewhere in there. That is a tough break for number 15.
Richard shoots by him. He'll get the 13th spot, and you saw it right there on the tachometer. It was all the way down to 0. Cardenas finally gets around there, and he gets it done. And check out MDW going around backwards. Literally, backwards. You're rewinding it, Dean? No, you're not. No, you're not rewinding it. No, he is literally basically saluting. He's either saluting or he's taking a shot at Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson, because he would be the one to go around backwards, or backwards, or however you want to look at it. We'll get your race results up real quick for you. Obviously, MDW, there you see, got it done. 17.7 seconds ahead of Jonathan Cofield. Tristan Bruce will come home 3rd. Mike Kostick will come home in the 4th spot. JD Jordan Rassick comes home in the 5th spot. Matt Lee will get 6th. Nick Sacco will get 7th. Lee was able to get the better of Mr. Sacco here this evening. John Freeman will get 8th. Adam Newton 9th. And Luke Smith runs straight in to a top 10 after Cardenas ran out of gas right there on the last lap. Matt Cherry gets 11th. Lyons will get 12th. Lucas Lyons, that is. Robbie Richards 13th. There's Dylan Cardenas, who ran out of gas. He will end up getting 14th here this evening. The rest of these drivers 1 lap down or more. Kyle Hess will finish 15th. Devin Painter 16th. Isaac Bevins 17th. And Matthew Montgomery will finish 18th. Dustin Scruggs, James Beard, the top 20.
21st to be Raul Meza. 22nd, Thomas Kohick. 23rd to be Cody Knott. 24th, Jeff Merck. Buzzy Mongold comes home in 25th here tonight. 26th to be Huck Wigginton. 27th, Keith Bradley with that wheel issue. Had a lot more speed than that 27th place shows. 28th for Brandon New. 29th for Casey Menke. 30th goes to Brandon Broadfoot. Dane Hagen, we saw him spin earlier in 31st. 32nd, Matthew Cummins. 33rd will be Ryan Johnson after getting turned into the inside wall early in this race. 34th, Eric Zimmerman. 35th, Kevin Edwards. And 36th, TJ Moore.
And folks, that is literally the race results here for the Hot Lap 160. MDW got the win. Obviously, we can't do post-race interviews because this is, once again, a recorded broadcast. So, Morgan, final thoughts here tonight for the Hot Lap 160 with MDW. Literally, I guess you could say, giving them a good old-fashioned spanking here tonight at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, 8 laps that the 21 did not lead tonight, all of them under a pit cycle in the first stage. That's dominance, and he's going to enjoy this one and head on to Lone Star State in Texas next week.
Yeah, and I was going to sit here and say that he is the first repeat winner, but Matt Lee done it at Talladega and at Bristol. Obviously, Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson won at Rockingham last week, so he is the second repeat winner here for the season 10 of the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. There you see the standings. And obviously, this is before this coming Friday when we go to Texas. That's what the points look like coming in to this race this past Friday night. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this broadcast. Watkins Glen, it's a road course. I hate them, but I'll tell you this much. If it was going to be any other road course, it'd be this one or the Charlotte Roval. Love both of those tracks. Always put up some outstanding action and always produce some wild finishes. Obviously, we want to thank all of our great sponsors. Obviously, Sim Racer Hub for what they do. Obviously, DSR Electric for the Monday Night Series. Blanchard's Towing, TLC, Premier Racing Setups, Pulse Poppers, Murph's Magical Creations, and obviously Concerns of Police Survivors for everything that they do for the title sponsor of the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, and all our other great sponsors that support this great league, which is the North American Sim Racing Association. Shout out to the drivers, shout out to the fans, Brennan LeBuff and Cody Knott for allowing us to be ourselves weeknight and weekend or whatever, however you want to look at it. For the Australian Dean Hopton Bengals, and also for my good buddy Morgan Cook, I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Said as always, say, be safe, be kind, be fast. And folks, we're going out west this coming Friday. We're going to see who's going to get them 6 shooters up, pop a couple of caps. Who's going to win in the Lone Star State mile and a half? We're going back oval racing. Thank God we're going to Texas this Friday night. You do not want to miss it. This Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, live and only on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. We'll see you there.
Ready.